What's up, guys? Welcome back to Picture Breakdown. This is going to be my breakdown of the Bad Batch episode 16, Camino Lost. I'm going through this episode shot by shot for some visual details, hidden references, as well as any background information that you might need to know. But first, if you're brand new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and notification bell to be notified for every future Bad Batch episode breakdown. Spoiler warning for Bad Batch episode 16. Alright, so we open with the Empire firing down upon Topoka City, and Vice Admiral Rampart asks for a status report, and the clone that answers him says,
"The cities have been destroyed, sir. All Kaminoan facilities have collapsed into the sea."
Very good.
Notice how the clone kind of seems distraught over the report, as if he's not totally okay with it. Topoka City was a home to all of the clones that were made there. It was where they grew up, trained, and made friends, and the Empire completely demolishes it without a second thought. It seems that, like a couple of the other clones in the show, this clone is starting to question the Empire's decisions and might also defect. The Bad Batch make it to their room, and Wrecker says,
Check it out. Our board's still here.
So on the top of the board on the left is the Orbesh letter for W, probably for wins, and underneath that is 110 tally marks, saying that the Bad Batch have won 110 missions together. On the right is the Orbesh letter for I, which I at first thought was the Orbesh letter for L, which would make a lot more sense for wins and losses, but I'm not really sure what the I is supposed to mean. Let me know down in the comments if you have any ideas. They get into the tube system from last week's episode, which I totally predicted in my last week's breakdown, and while they're there, they see a huge marine creature that's attacking the tube. I looked, and this creature looks like it could be a saber jowl, one of the many types of eel in the galaxy. The saber jowl species itself is native to the oceans of Camino. They make it back to the platform with the Marauder on it, and we get a good look at the sky, which is clear. I find this very interesting because from what I can recall, every single shot of Camino that we've gotten, it's been a rainstorm going on. I was thinking that the clear sky could be some sort of symbolism saying that all is good now, but Topoka City just got completely demolished and Crosshair's being left behind, so I'm not really sure what could possibly be good about this situation, but yeah. Omega then says,
"Thank you for saving AZ.
Consider us even.
I think we're supposed to take this as Crosshair saved Omega and AZ just to make sure that he's even with them for them saving him earlier in the episode, but I think this is a misdirect because Crosshair is not a fully fledged villain yet, and I think that he has a spark of good in him that will eventually turn him to the light, maybe by next season. We then cut to Nala Se being taken to an Imperial facility, and a scientist walks up and says,
Mistress Nala Se, welcome. We are all admirers of your scientific talents. The Empire has big things planned for you.
This is the start to the cloning projects that the Empire was working on, like Dr. Pershing's projects that he was doing in The Mandalorian. Dr. Pershing also had the same Kaminoan patch that this scientist has here. Alright, so as tradition, I gotta pitch you a theory for this episode. And today's theory pertains to the last thing I was talking about, the Imperial cloning projects. What I think the last scene was teasing is that in the next season of Bad Batch, we're gonna be exploring different advancements that the Empire makes that leads them first to the cloning pods with Dr. Pershing, and then finally to the recreation of Emperor Palpatine. I think that they're gonna be going into detail and explain some of the more open-ended aspects of the movies, like how Palpatine was able to make a Strandcast to make his son, as well as Snoke. I'd very much enjoy exploring these topics, and I really hope this is the case. A few thoughts on this episode. So we start off with the Bad Batch working together to get out of the sunken city, and while they're doing that, we get a few character moments from Crosshair that really flesh him out as a character, and I enjoyed that. We also got the giant, what I believe to be a saber jowl, which was fun to watch, but my biggest complaint about this episode was that it didn't at all feel like a finale episode. It felt as if there was absolutely no action, no plot twists, or maybe no even change in plot at all. To be completely honest, this episode felt more like a filler than a finale episode to me. But those are my thoughts on this episode. Let me know down in the comments what you thought. Before you go, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified for every future Bad Batch episode breakdown. If you enjoyed this week's breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button. It's super helpful for the channel. And if you know someone who's watching Bad Batch, please consider sharing this with them. Put down any questions or comments and let me know what you think they're going to explore in Season 2. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next breakdown.